Hey fellow Star Citizens, Scrapchat here. Instead of drooling over the new Crusader Spirit line of ships while watching CitizenCon, I spent my weekend running as many combat assistance service beacons as I could of all different levels to see if they were playable and good moneymakers. But don't worry, I'll get around to reviewing the spirits in a day or two. Before we get too far into this episode, if you haven't already signed up to play Star Citizen, make sure to use my referral code in the description. It'll get you an additional 5,000 credits when you create your account, and the channel gets some credits towards some swag. Also, if you're looking for a great Star Citizen organization to join, you should check out Star Citizen Friends and Mentoring. I joined their Discord, and they really helped me learn and improve my gameplay. The link to the Discord is in the description. Alright, let's get started. For those who are unfamiliar with service beacons, they're a class of mission where you accept an offer to protect a ship which is stranded in open space and is being assaulted by hostile pirates. Depending on the level of the service beacon mission, you may be the only ship protecting this stranded ship, or you may be working with a group if you are running the higher missions. These missions cannot be stacked. If you choose a second service beacon, the first one will automatically be withdrawn. You also only have 5 minutes to arrive on the scene, so it's best to make sure you're in your ship and in the area before accepting the mission. Service beacons are open to anyone on the server, and once they are gone until a new batch is spawned. And I haven't figured out exactly how often that is or when it happens. When you're reviewing potential contracts, check the distance the beacon is from you. If it's not in the vicinity, don't bother taking it. Typically missions are clustered around each of the planets, so try to only take ones in your area. If you see a beacon that looks like you want, head on over to the planet first before taking the beacon if you're not in the area. I tried making it from Haste into Microtech after having accepted an offer, and about 3/4 of the way, the mission was withdrawn. When you show up out of Quantum, be ready for a fight pretty much right away. There won't be any 20-kilometer slog leading up to the actual combat. Within a few seconds, you'll be seeing and hearing from the hostiles. As soon as I drop out of Quantum, I immediately switch to guns for low threats and missiles for anything higher. The low threats seem to easily avoid my missiles, and they're usually just Aurora LNs anyway. So far, the hostiles have not been very hostile towards me. I had one Avenger Titan put up a real fight that caused me to grab my second flight stick so I could use my thrusters to get out of his line of fire. When I ran the higher missions, I usually took my Eclipse, fired off 3 missions at 3 different hostiles without hardly moving, and called it a day. There are 4 levels of difficulty for the combat assistance missions. The first one being Combat Assistance Low Threat, and awards the least amount of credits, usually close to 2,000 that I've been paid. The hostile ship or ships aren't very aggressive and can be dispatched in a few seconds, followed by a sincere thank you from the ship you were sent to protect. Completing 8 of these missions unlocks the next level for you. The next level is Combat Assistance Moderate Threat. I've noticed that with this level, you need to stay close to the ship you're there to protect, like apparently real close. I strayed a little too far during my dogfight with the Buccaneer and had my contract cancelled. In another one that I did complete successfully, I made close to 13,000 credits, which isn't bad for like a minute and a half worth of work. In order to progress to the next level, you need to complete 2 of the moderate threat missions. Unfortunately, it kind of goes downhill from there. The next level is Combat Assistance High Threat, and starts at 45,000 credits, and from what I could see, can go as high as 200,000 credits, depending on the type of hostiles you go up against. After running a couple of these, I think I need to invest in an Aegis Retaliator. The Eclipse on occasion ran out of seeker missiles. In one mission, I had to take out a Reclaimer with the Eclipse's Badgers because I had already taken out 2 Hammerheads and a Starfare with the seeker missiles. Again, the hostiles are very lackluster and was not an issue for a handful of seeker missiles. The problem came in at the end after all the hostiles were taken out. The second objective of the mission was to remain with the ship you were protecting until your protection was no longer needed. That part I think is broken. Apparently your services will be needed indefinitely. I thought I just missed the audio cue, and left the first time after about a minute. As I left the area, I heard screams of terror and the mission was cancelled. The next time I hung around for a full 10 minutes and nothing happened and the mission wouldn't complete.
You heard my car, that's amazing. I need some help mopping up these bastards.
The next level is also available at this point and is the Combat Assistance Critical Threat mission, worth upwards of 300,000 credits. This mission is very similar to the High Threat mission, just with bigger ship battles. Now you're dealing exclusively with hammerheads, which is fine with me, and potentially Nidris, which I really wanted to see, but it didn't come up. You drop out of Quantum and you are presented with a massive space battle among subcapital ships, with your ship to protect stuck stranded in the middle of it all. Very similar ending, unfortunately, to the High Threat mission. At the end, you hang around in case your services are needed, but it never seems to end. Ever. Which is really sad because the thought of making upwards of 300,000 credits in less than 5 minutes is just mind-blowing. And I ran, I think, 4 of these missions this weekend, so 1.2 million over the course of 2 days would really have been awesome. The only test I didn't try was snuggling up next to the ship that I had to protect. Maybe I had to be right on his tail before they decided they didn't need me. I don't know. I really also wish I got to see the Idris though. That would have been awesome. So what are my thoughts on combat service beacons? I think they fill a couple of good use cases. If you're a new Star Citizen and would like some space combat experience where you won't have to worry about your opponent putting up much of a fight, this is the answer. Starting the mission is quick, you only have a short quantum jump, and you're immediately in the fight. No flying off to meet your quarry. And on top of that, you make a quick 2,000 credits or so. The moderate threat missions pit you against tankier ships, who will shoot back a little, and the payout is much better, so when you feel comfortable at the low threat levels, you can run some of these more advanced level dogfights. For the rest of us who are comfortable dealing with medium fighters, the moderate threat level is a quick buck if you happen to be out and about running bounties and one appears nearby. Good for a quick 30,000 credits or so. The sad part of all of this though is that I couldn't get the high or critical threat service beacon to work properly. Being able to make that kind of coin in such a short period of time would be bonkers, even if that threat level of missions didn't show up very often. I'd happily add it to my mix of group bounties and plain old ERT bounties. That's it for my review of combat service beacons. I hope you found this information useful, and if you did, please smash that like button and subscribe. The YouTube algorithm really likes it when you do that. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Scrapjet out.